Advice to an artist on choosing a wife. May the gods bless you with a wife who understands you. If you are not so fortunate, may she accept you for who you are, and if not this, at least put up with you. If she cannot put up with you, may she not kick you out, or if she does, not also call the police or the Mental Health Institute. But even if she does, may she not inflict bodily harm or drive you to cut off an ear. Though should this happen, may the blade be clean and not cause infection. Yet if serious harm comes to you, may she at least spare your work and not destroy it. And if she must, let her forget the work hoarded by your friends. If she knocks on their doors, may they not be home, or refuse to answer, or escape out the back door. And if she catches up with them at last, may God have mercy on their souls.
Let's start with a bit of your background. I understand you're a Navy brat, as you say.
Navy brat. Born in the Naval Hospital in Norfolk, Virginia. We don't smoke, we don't drink. Norfolk. Yeah, my dad joined the Navy. He lied about his age. Joined the Navy at 16 in order not to be working a mill in New Jersey, and saw the world. And he retired in 1948 in Southern California, buying a house in Pasadena. And at that time, Southern California must have looked like Eden to this New Jersey boy. I mean, we had a little house with fruit trees, and I mean, in the late 40s and 50s, Southern California was really cool. It was a great place to grow up. So I had a very supportive upbringing, happy childhood. My dad was a navigator in the Navy, so he got me interested in math really early. I was really good at it. It was kind of through high school, the high school science nerd type, and actually went to Caltech direct from high school. What was interesting about Caltech is that it's the first time I ever really had a realistic view of the place of my intellect in the world. Up to that, I was a straight A. I was a salutatorian. I was straight A high school student, and, But I went to there was the freshman class is 100 people, and the first thing I did was, meet 50 that were so much brighter than me. It was ridiculous. Interestingly enough, the guy who really supported me in this transition period was Linus Pauling. He was my chemistry teacher, and he's the one who said, hey, there are a lot of good things to do other than science. You can be a philosopher, you can be a writer, you can be a this, you can be a that. And he was very, very supportive. Because I left with a B average. My mother practically had a nervous breakdown.
You played football at Caltech, right? And you were the quarterback, right?
Quarterback. And then, here's what's interesting too. The varsity did the single wing. There's a guy named Bert LaBrucherie. He was the coach of the year at UCLA in 1948, and he was the Caltech varsity football team. He did the old single wing. I actually did spring football, and quarterback on the single wing is great because it's a blocking bag, and they're all traps. I mean, you just kill guys that don't know you're coming. Great fun.
So you started teaching here in what year? This is Portland State University.
Well, I think it's been about 15 years. I've just been an adjunct. Yeah, I was offered the job. The phone rang one day. They were looking for somebody to start a screenwriting program as part of a new master's program. And I had a presence on the web. I had the Screenwriters and Playwrights homepage, the first web page for screenwriters and playwrights. And one of the faculty members knew about it. And so they called me in, and once they found out I had an MFA, it was pretty much a done deal. What's kind of interesting is, I'm an adjunct on a term-by-term contract. I've had like 45 contracts. Every term I get a new contract, sign the dotted line.
Right.
So, but I love it. I love it. My original condition was I would do it as long as I didn't have to teach before 3 in the afternoon because I was still, you know, focusing on my own work there. I probably should have gone to Seattle, but I was chicken. I knew in Portland, I had a relationship with Northwest Magazine and the editor, and I knew walking into Portland, I could immediately get a job. And I didn't have any connections in Seattle. So I took the easy way, walked into Portland, got some writing assignments immediately. And I was in Portland at the right time for a playwright at InSouth because the whole new theater scene, a lot of young people were starting theater companies and whatnot. And I was writing these plays with Oregon settings, and Steve Smith at Theater Workshop really dug that and started doing them. There were a bunch of guys from Minnesota who were in town. They started the New Rose Theater, and they were having a hard time being accepted. They were called the Minnesota Mafia. And it was like, oh, all these guys from Minnesota trying to take over our theater community. And Gary O'Brien, the artistic director, was brilliant because he decided the way to get on the right side of this issue is to have a resident playwright from Oregon, and I was the guy.
I've rambled around your city, I've rambled around your town. I never see a friend I know. I go rambling around, I go rambling around. My parents and my sweetheart I left in my old hometown. I'm just doing the best that I can. I go rambling around, I go rambling around.
I personally like, my brother's poetry has gone through a great many changes, and I liked his kind of earlier period when he wrote much longer lines, a lot of classical references. He writes almost, you know, almost haiku, really tight Eastern kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what Variations is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, real short kind of. But he wrote, you know, real long melodic lines earlier in his career. One of his poems he wrote in high school about sex just blew my mind. There's this line, secretes the edge by which is known the insides, and line of flesh between them both. God damn the difference. I mean, all this poem about fucking that this high school kid wrote. I said, holy shit, where the hell? I wasn't doing that when I was in high school.
You published Kerouac's Scroll what year?
Gosh. Good question. I would guess early 2002, 3, something like that. You know, originally that was, I wanted to write a story about my friendship with Dick Crooks, basically for his 2 sons. So the original title of that actually was Hooker and Bear, and it was just privately published for their 2 sons. And then some other people read it and said, well, you should release this. You know, so I did some more work on it, and it came out Kerouac's Scroll. But
yeah, it's a very moving story about a man who, based on Crooks and your relationship,
yeah.
A man who you discover is dying, and he tells you on the trip, right?
Right.
And this is a trip back to D.C. to
see Kerouac's Scroll.
Yeah.